What's up, y'all? Let's see if it's going. I think it's going. Hopefully it is. I'm trying to make sure it is, y'all. It says published, so let's see. We'll see on the screen here in a second. Yep, okay, perfect. You guys, there we go. What is up, y'all? We had a little trouble logging in, y'all. So, y'all come on in. I'm a little late, but we had a little bit of trouble logging in, so. There we go. Y'all come on in, hang out. There we go. I'm sure some of y'all were already waiting. We had a little bit of trouble logging in. I guess I updated it and it whatchamacallit, it logged me out, and I needed Parker and him to approve me getting back in, y'all. So what's going on, you guys? Y'all come on in, hang out. Kind of taking this back a little bit because I'm gonna tell you guys, I love to use my bases from Joann's, the craft store, which obviously, if you guys have not seen, is going out of business, unfortunately. Excuse me. Excuse me, you guys. The wind must have blown something in last night, but it is what it is. So, I love to use the evergreen bases, but a lot of us have these work wreath frames hanging about. And so I'm going to use a work wreath frame today. Now, this method is what I call the 2.0. Okay, so if you guys have been around a while, thank y'all. Apologize. If you guys have been around a while, well, you've seen the 2.0 in action. But I need 8 cuts at 20 inches for my inner ring. Okay, so we're going to cut all of our mesh. I am using a rotary cutter. So y'all, these on this style of wreath, this is gonna be where you're gonna catch me measuring. You will catch me measuring on this style of wreath. Okay, thanks y'all. I'm telling you, the wind must have blown something in last night. The wind was whipping last night. I mean, it wasn't really whipping, but it was just, it was there. I mean, I guess when your weather alert thing says that you've got not dangerous, but unhealthy I guess breathing conditions or something. I don't know what it said this morning, but I already cleared it. But it did say something about like unhealthy air unhealthy air quality. So yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need one more at 8. Okay. So this is going to be 8 at 20 inches. And then I need 10 at 30 inches. So we got 10 at 30. 8 at 20, 10 at 30. Okay. So this is what I call the 2.0. You need 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh, you guys. You do need 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. I don't think you'll use all of them. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think you'll use all of them, but you do need the 2 rolls. 4, 5, And these are at 30 inches. 6. So I got 6 30-inch rolls and 8 20-inch rolls out of the first roll. Okay, so you are going to need 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I need 10 of these at 30 inches. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, so we got 1 grouping. So the 8 is for the inner ring. That's what the 8 is for. So there's 8 ties on the inner ring, and then there's 10 ties on the outer ring. But yo, you can make really fluffy bases using these work wreath forms. Don't think that you just have to use the evergreen forms. Well, I know a lot of people love to use the evergreen forms, just like me. I love to use those evergreen forms. You can still make really pretty wreaths using the work wreath forms. So I'm showing y'all that because I know we're starting to get down to like only one store that's gonna, well, 2 stores, Michael's and Hobby Lobby, that are carrying the evergreen forms. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't like the Hobby Lobby ones. I do not like the Hobby Lobby the Hobby Lobby evergreen frames. Gracious day, goodness gracious, y'all. Sorry. As long as I don't get the hiccups now, please don't get the hiccups. Okay. So showing y'all you can still make a really pretty base on the work wreath frame. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 10. I got 10 pieces. Okay, so with this wreath frame, this is a OAD wreath frame. This is the work wreath frame. They do come in 2 styles. You've got the one that's got the fluffy ties, just like this. Kind of like how you find on an evergreen, but they also have the pencil tie, which is a tie kind of like this. Okay, so kind of like this. Really, I like to use either one of them. It doesn't really matter to me, you guys, because by the time I end up adding all my stuff in there, you really can't see the ties anyways. So we're gonna come on in with my mesh. Now you're gonna do 10-inch poofs on the inner ring. Okay, 10-inch poofs on the inner ring. That's where that's gonna go. The 10-inch poofs. That's the only place we're adding poofs on the inner ring. Okay, so kind of just scrunching up my mesh. Why don't I? Because they make my wreaths way too big. I don't know what it is, but I have done those. I've used those wreaths before, and they make my wreaths way too big. Okay, so 10-inch poofs all along the inner ring. That's why I like the Joann's ones. Like, my wreaths are already big to begin with, but on those, I feel like they make it about an extra 6 inches more. Okay, so 10-inch poofs just on the inner ring. Okay, just on the inner ring. These are elevated, so the inner ring is the top ring, and then the bottom ring is not the top ring. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Hobby Lobby ones. Megan loves the Hobby Lobby ones. Jordan does not love the Hobby Lobby ones. Okay. So 10-inch poofs all along the inner ring. Alright, there we go. We're getting there. We are getting there. I'm showing y'all this because this is the frame that's like readily available. Okay, this is the one that's like readily available. Almost every place that sells wreath supplies, wreath making supplies, sells this type of frame. Okay, so that's why I'm kind of starting to use it too. I know we have a ton of them at Deco in different colors. I like to just choose the burlap one because it's usually what I like to use the most. The burlap color because that's the color of mesh that I use the most. Okay. So we still have a lot left over on our mesh roll. So we did need the 2 rolls of mesh, but we still have some left over. Okay, so here I am with my poofs. They're on the inner ring. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, it looks so flimsy. But trust the process, y'all. TTP. Okay, so next we're going to get our 30-inch measurements, our 30-inch ruffles, and we're going to make some ruffles, cruffles, whatever you want to call them. I just call them ruffles, cruffles. And we're going to start putting those on our outer ring. The outer ring is where the 30-inch ruffles are going to go. Okay? So 30-inch ruffles are going on the outer ring. And this is kind of like my tried and true base, you guys. This is one that I've used for a long time. I know you guys see me use the evergreen bases a lot, but this is what I used to use before I started using a lot of the evergreen bases. I would use the work wreath frames. Go. So 30-inch ruffles on the outer ring. Putting those in. No poofs on the outer ring at all. None. There's no poofs whatsoever on the outer ring. Just on that inner ring. I call this one the Jordan 2.0. Some people might call it something else, but that's what I call it. I call it the 2.0. Still makes a really nice fluffy wreath. So 30-inch ruffles all along the outer ring. Okay, all along the outer ring. So the outer ring, so on the work wreath forms, there's a total of 18 ties, and that is 10 on the outer and 8 on the inner ring. Okay. Ten on the outer, 8 on the inner. So there we go. We've got our poofs, we've got our ruffles, cruffles, whatever you want to call them, Next, we're going to come in with our 20-inch cuts. Our 20-inch cuts are what we use on the inner ring. Okay? Just to fill it in a little bit more. I do untie my ties, so adding these into my inner ring, you guys. So these are 20 inches. Now you could go up to probably about 24 inches if you wanted to. I wouldn't go past the 24 inches because you already added the poofs in there. So the 20-inch ones go on the inner ring. The 1.0 is you use 21-inch mesh on the 1.0. So that's already a big difference if you use the 1.0 method, because the 1.0 is 21-inch mesh and 10-inch mesh. So that's the difference on the 1.0. So there is a difference on them. On the 2.0, it's just 10-inch mesh all the way around, and also on the 3.0. I think the 3.0 has the poofs around the outer ring, and then you add ruffles, so you end up using both of your rolls of 10-inch mesh. Because, y'all, mind you, I have all these written down. Like I typed them all out. Yeah. So on the 3.0, you use the 10-inch mesh on both the inner and the outer ring. I will tell you, like, now that I see this, like, I feel like they could definitely do an adjustment here. I would probably go up to the 24 inches on the mesh ruffles on the inner ring. That's just me. I feel like the 20 inch is nice, but I feel like the 24 inch would be just a little bit nicer. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this, and I'm actually going to oval this out, you guys, the same way I would a evergreen base. The same way I would an evergreen base. So look how nice and full this is. It's really nice, full, really pretty. Okay. So look how pretty that is. But that's a side view of it. Really nice, pretty. I'm missing a ribbon. I need to get a 2.5 inch, you guys. Where do you find good bow tutorials? Right here on the DecoExchange YouTube channel. Hold on now, I'm getting a 2.5 inch ribbon. I thought I pulled the 2.5 inch, but I didn't. So, when it comes to ribbon on this type of wreath, you guys, okay, on this type of wreath, I do like to use my handy dandy if I could find her. She's usually in one spot, and there she is. She was covered. My ribbon tail board. Now, this ribbon tail board did come from Hot Mesh Mom, but my favorite length to use is the 13-inch one. The 13-inch. I don't know if you guys can even see that on the camera. Can y'all see that? Okay, so 13-inch is my go-to for my ribbon tails on this type of wreath. Okay, so this is my normal go-to, you guys. 13-inch ribbon tails. I use two styles of 2.5-inch ribbon. Two styles of 2.5-inch ribbon. Okay, doesn't matter what kind. And then two styles of 1.5-inch ribbon. So on this one, I'm using the chinoiserie. I'm not a big fan of this one right here. So I'm going to switch that out for an embossed. Okay. So we're going to do a blue embossed with the chinoiserie from the Wreath supply box, you guys. And then we're going to use, these both came from the Wreath supply box, which I absolutely love. So we're going to use that nice faux burlap. It's not the same color blue, but it's a different color blue. And then also my fancy panty, which is the scalloped edge. So I need 9 of each ribbon. Okay, I need 9 of each ribbon for this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 of each style of ribbon. Okay. I'm also someone who likes to mix a lot of different patterns and textures with my wreaths, so I'm not very color or texture or pattern conscious, honestly. I kind of just do whatever makes me happy, right? At the end of the day, it is my wreath, so I do what makes me happy. But I need 9 of each color. Okay. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just making sure. I like to make my wreaths oval because I just like a bigger wreath. Honestly, that's really the only reason. I like to make them just appear a little bit bigger. And that's what you can do by making that oval shape. So that's what I like to do. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can always keep them round as well if you want to. But that's what I like, to just turn them into oval shapes. Okay, so we've got 9 of each of these. So we've got 9 2.5-inch, and then we're gonna do of each style. Okay. I'm gonna bring my scalloped edge, also known as the fancy panty. I need 9 of each one of these, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, of course, if you don't have a ribbon tail board, definitely something I suggest you invest in. But also, if you have a cutting mat, you can do it the old-fashioned way like I used to, you guys. I used to actually sit here and measure out every single ribbon tail. Actually, my cheat was I would measure this I would measure out a length of 26-inch ribbon, and then I would just cut it in half. That's what I used to do. I used to measure it out to 26 inches, cut it in half. That's going to give me 13 inches. So. I know we haven't done a wreath like this in a long time, guys, here on YouTube. So sometimes it's always good to have a refresher, you guys, because I know a lot of people go back and watch the replays, but they don't go back and watch a lot of the replays. Trust me, I know. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got 9 of each one. And almost, actually, all my supplies came from DecoExchange, you guys. All of it came from DecoExchange. Some of the ribbons came from the Wreath supply box, which you can still sign up for to get the April 2025 box, which I think is amazing. Loved this month's box. So, you still have time to sign up for that. But, like the blue, the 2.5 inch and the two 1.5 inch ones came from the March Wreath supply box for 2025. So really good box, you guys. Okay, so that's the last we're gonna need our ribbon tail board. Let me get all of this. Put those away. Okay. Now I like to group these up together. So I put the solid blue with the pattern. Now if I have two that are patterned, if I'm using 4 ribbons and they're all patterned, then I will choose whichever one makes like the biggest impact on it. But as far as like this one goes, like I have the solid. So this one is the chinoiserie with the solid blue. And then this one's going to be the solid blue with the Swiss dot. Okay. And you know, sometimes like I change the way I do things sometimes. Like sometimes I won't even do ribbon tails just like this. I'll just do a few here and there on my wreaths. But it usually just depends on my mood sometimes. So just keep that in mind. You can always change it out however you want to. So we've got our 2 piles here. And we're going to come on in to our wreath base. And we're going to start adding them in. Folding that in half. Pinching that. Untying my tie. I do like to untie my ties, you guys. And then we're going to separate those. I do like to separate them, you guys. I don't like to keep them right on top of each other. So just kind of like a tried and true method for the for the work wreath frames. Hey, Laura. Okay. So going all the way around. Because every tie is going to have ribbon in it. Every tie will have ribbon in it. That's why we have the 18. And you can always, so instead of doing two, four different styles of ribbons, you can bring in, what is it, 6 styles of ribbons? Yeah, I think it's 6. Yeah. Because you could bring in 3 2.5-inch and 3 1.5-inch ribbons as well. If you want to bring in an extra different color or something into there, because there is 18 ties, so you can bring in a third color if you wanted to. Now there is a spot though that will get when you do that, there is a spot that kind of gets like a double like there's 2 colors that are gonna match right next to each other. Okay, so just coming on in with my ribbon tails. Separate those. There we go. Can't believe it's Thursday already, you guys. I feel like it was just. I'm gonna tell y'all. Sometimes when I switch with Megan for coaching, I don't mind switching, but it kind of throws off my days because usually she goes on Sundays in creative coaching and I'm on Mondays. So when we switch, I'm like, okay, I'm done. So it kind of just throws off my days a little bit by one day, you guys. It just throws it off by one day. Like today, I feel like today's Friday. Okay, so going all the way around, that's where we cut 9 of each. Each one, you guys. And like I said, this is my favorite, one of my favorite. This morning I saw on my Facebook, there was a thing that said, I think I just need to go to the beach and disconnect for a week. And I'm like, yes, please. I will gladly do that in a heartbeat. No people, just the water and the sand. You know, there's just some, I love going to the beach. I do love going to the beach. I do like going to the beach. So we've gone all the way around our entire base, right? So adding in the last 2 pieces. Adding those in. So look how nice and full this looks, you guys. Let me kind of zoom out so you guys can really see it. Look how nice and full that looks. And that's with, we ovaled it. We ovaled it out, so really nice, pretty. Let me see if I can. So, let me see. This one was made on a evergreen base. I'm trying to show you guys one that was made on an evergreen base too. So this was on a 24-inch evergreen base. Y'all look at the size. Look at that. Like, you can really make a nice big wreath using a OAD form, a work wreath form. Look how big this wreath is. So it's large and in charge. Now this one was taught in creative coaching. So you can go to creativecoachjordan.com if you want to learn how to make this one. I did make this one in creative coaching. But y'all, look at this. They're about the same size. The only thing that's different is I added this big bunny, so it kind of makes it look a little bit bigger. But they're basically the same size. Honestly. I love this greenery. Okay, so you can really make any wreath big. Okay. So when it comes to signs, you can always add a round sign. You can add a round sign. You can add rectangle. You can add the... Okay, I want that right there, kind of in the middle of my wreath. Actually, I think I kind of cockeyed that. Which I'm kind of not mad at it, but I think I want that, though, to be like that. So we're going to come on in, staple our pipe cleaners to my sign. Okay. Hold on, you guys, I gotta make sure that this is looking right here, because of course, y'all, the chinoiserie it's just very on trend for this year. It's not going away. I don't see it going away anytime soon at all. And I love that. Love the chinoiserie. So tying that in. Tying this one in. Okay. So we go. We've added in our sign. Love how it looks. Okay. Next, I need a bow. Okay. So you can do big bows. You can do little bows. So I kind of already have this one done, but I'm going to tell you I'm going to still make another one. Okay. But I want to use the same ribbons from this on this. Okay. Okay. So we've got this color, really, really pretty. And I actually already have a spot for this one. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just tie this one in right here. So we've added this bow. We're still going to make another one. Just dovetailing that ribbon. I got that. Okay. So next I want to make my big bow. Okay. So we've got this. We're going to make our big bow. So I've got this one, this one, this one, and this one. Actually, I might do 2 half bows like right here. Just because I feel like the 2 half bows are going to fill that up really nicely. That's what we're going to do. So measuring out 9 inches for my loop. Okay, then we're going to do 10 inches. Okay, so we got 10 inches, and then we're going to do 11 inches. Inches. $12 inches. Inches. So I usually go up an inch on every loop. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, however high I want that number to go. That's usually what I opt for. So adding this one in as well. So they're both very similar bows. They do have their little bit of differences because one's got the embossed ribbon in it. Lots of traffic here today, you guys. Lots and lots of traffic in my neck of the woods today. So there we go. We've added in our 2 bows. They're both the half bows. But look how nice and full that looks on the bottom of that sign. I love how that looks. Okay. So we're going to add a little bit of greenery to this. Some greenery and some florals. Cut that in there. Cut that there. And then this there. Cut that there. Cut that there. Y'all, the day that I make a wreath and there's no greenery or florals in it, someone come check my temperature. Okay, so I have 6 pieces of this. And I'm actually going to try and find the part that was the top piece. So adding that in. Is that Carrie? Cousin Carrie? Some stuff around here. There we go. Thanks, Carrie. So I'm gluing this in to where the tinsel ties are. You guys, that's where I'm gluing these pieces, and I'm gluing them in to where the tinsel ties are. Okay? So it does have something to grab a hold of. I want to make sure that it's attaching itself to something. I'm not just dependent on the Gorilla Glue. But I am also kind of getting it inside, kind of layering it between the mesh as well. Okay. So, I've kind of already divided my wreath into separate parts. There should be 6 separate parts right here because there was only 3 pieces of greenery per each, the top and the bottom. So, with that being said, this should make it really easy. This should make it really easy, you guys. When you break up your 60919, or if you have the baby 60919, you can definitely do that as well. The baby 60919 is basically just this piece by itself. It's not, you don't have to trim it up or anything. Okay? Okay, so we're going to fluff this out. So, fluffing those out. I do only have 6 pieces. I think these are the last ones that I have from the Wreath supply box, you guys. I know. Very, very sad day for me. So, just fluffing these out. 6 pieces, right? So this is going to go in between my my clematis leaves. Put that off to the side. Have y'all seen Harry Potter? Hopefully some of y'all have seen Harry Potter. If you haven't, every time someone says I'm late, I always want to do what Mrs. Weasley did to Ron when she sent that letter. Where have you been? I know y'all know which scene I'm talking about. Car gone, no note, bed's empty. I love that scene. Oh, and I love the scene in the last movie too. If you know, you know. Just not my daughter. Yeah, just fill in the rest of it. Just fill in the rest. Okay, so we've added in our 60919. You know, I think I want to see if I can find another one. Hold on. I found another one. I found me another one. Where have you been? And then doesn't she like follow it up with like, she says like, I think she says hello to like Harry, and then she goes off on Ron. Where have you been? Okay, so we're gonna add these kind of tucked in around the sign. So I've got one piece for the top, and then my threes, my 1, 2, my triangle. I don't have to look it up, you guys. I love the Harry Potter movies. So don't think that you can't make a full, luscious looking wreath on a work wreath form, because you can, you guys. You can. Trust me, you can. You can 100% make a really pretty wreath on a work wreath frame. Now this one I will separate. Come on in. Y'all know I love to add me some greenery to where my bows are. I feel like just really ties everything in. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're adding in our greenery in. So a lot of this stuff came from the Wreath supply box, you guys. Well, the ribbon did, and so did the 60919. But you can use whatever you have. If you want to just use regular blue 60919, you definitely can. You can definitely use just the regular blue 60919. You can also use white, the cream, ivory, whatever color it is they labeled it as. I'm trying to clean this up, guys, just so y'all can see the full wreath. See if I can kind of angle it out, you guys, so you guys can see it a little bit better. So there we go, that's a little bit better. So we use the 2.0 method on this one. Adjust that just a little bit. So we did use the 2.0 on this, which was 10-inch poofs on the inner ring, 20-inch ruffles on the inner ring, and then 30-inch ruffles on the outer ring. Okay, so you do need 2 rolls of mesh. Now, of course, when you do your mesh, you don't have to just choose the burlap one. You can always mix them and match, whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But then we came in, we added in our ribbon tails, which are 13 inches. 13-inch ribbon tails. That's the 2. So I used 2 2.5 and 2 1.5 inch. Then we came in and we added in our sign and then our bows. This one I had already had done, but then we made this one. So this one was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-inch loops on the bow. Added that in, and then we added in our greenery. I did use 3 clematis. Excuse me, you guys. 3 clematis leaves. Those came from Michael's, and then I used 3 60919. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys, let me see if I find another one, because this is going to bother the heck out of me. Do you guys see right here? Like, there's nothing right here, so hold please. Let me see if I have another one. I only had a few more left. There we go. Now it doesn't look so naked. Nobody wants a naked wreath, y'all. Okay, so there we go. Save that piece for another project. Use it on something else. Okay, but so we added. Technically, we did 3.5 60919s, which is really pretty. Love the 60919, you guys. That's such a really nice, versatile floral stem. A lot of us use it. I know Damon uses it. I use it. Megan uses it. All the coaches from Creative Coaching use it. So definitely, you guys, if you haven't played with the 60919, you definitely need to, because it's really a nice bush. Okay. So, but y'all, that is all I got for y'all. That's it. I'm gonna take some pictures of this one, post it. Okay. So, but y'all, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what next week holds for me. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do the YouTube tutorial next week, because I will be out of town. I will be in Louisiana. If I can do it, I will. If not, we will make it up the following week when I come back home. Okay? So just keep that in mind. I am going to be out of town in Louisiana next week, but hopefully I can make next week's live workout. Okay? So, but y'all, that's all I got for y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Okay? Bye, y'all.